Dan Illman, Mike Beer. The feature race at Gulfstream Park on Saturday is the Grade 3 Tropical Turf. Let's throw up the field. We're going 1 mile on the grass course at Gulfstream. This race carded as race 8 on Saturday. It kicks off a 50-cent pick 4. Chad Brown as the 4 value proposition. The red hot Todd Pletcher as the number 1 Largent. And Largent, Mike, in many ways is the key to this race because when we last saw him, he just got beat a neck in a Grade 1 stakes race to Colonel Liam, his stablemate, one of the better turf horses in the country at that time. We just haven't seen him in a year. Pletcher's awesome off layoffs.
Yeah, he's great off of layoffs. You can see it right off in this horse's PPs a little bit too, Dan. Not only was he a debut winner, but he came off of a long layoff in January of 2020 down here at Gulfstream Park and just won very easily that day with a 97 buyer. I mean, I guess you just sort of expect him to be ready. And if he's ready, I don't know, you can go through those 10 races he's run so far. Where's the bad one, Dan? This horse shows up every time.
Now we throw up the Timeform US pace projector. We'll notice that this pace is expected to be run at a quick tempo, and that would help Largent, who likes to sit off the pace. He's rather versatile. Whether they go as fast as Timeform US indicates, I'm not sure, but Flying Scotsman, the 5, is going to make the front.
I sort of looked at it the same way. I wasn't sure that I necessarily thought it was going to be a fast pace, but it's certainly possible that it is. And it does kind of feel like Flying Scotsman's only chance to win this field is to try to wire them.
Largent is 4 for 6 at Gulfstream with 2 second-place finishes, including this race, last year's Grade 1 Pegasus World Cup Turf. He got a great trip from Paco Lopez, was able to save every inch of ground, ducks down through along the inside. He's got all the momentum. It looks like maybe right here he's going to take it, but here comes his stablemate, Colonel Liam, who came and nails him on the wire. Colonel Liam would come back to win the Muniz at the Fairgrounds with a 99, with dead heat in the Grade 1 Turf Classic at Churchill Downs with a 100 buyer. Largent had a great trip. He ran great. He's the kind of horse capable of getting good trips in just about all of his races because he's tactical.
Yeah, that's what you like about him. He has really good tactical speed. They could put him on the lead if they wanted to, but if they go fast in this race, he's going to sit somewhere off of it. You're right, though. He did get a perfect trip in the last time we saw him in the Pegasus World Cup Turf. He also got a great trip when he won the Fort Lauderdale in his start right prior to that. I mean, they went a good pace in front of him that day, and that's what you like about Largent. When they went fast, he just sat it out, and he came with a big run down the outside and closed that thing down. He's going to get another good trip here, Dan, and you just sort of expect him to be ready for Pletcher.
Clear Vision's been in very good form, the number 2. His last 3 races, 2 wins and a second. All of those buyer speed figures in the 90s. He's got enough tactical speed where he can get forward enough. The question is whether he's good enough. We're going to watch his last race. This is the Claiming Crown Emerald. His first start after being taken at Belmont out of a gate-to-wire win going against $25,000 claimers. Good trip in this race. Gets to the outside. Going to finish an okay second. His figs are there, but it's a step up in class that might be somewhat concerning.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about with him. I mean, his form recently is actually pretty good. He has that race when they dropped him in for 25 at Saratoga last summer, and he just hung really badly that day. And I felt like he was going to be tough to take off of that race. And of course, he comes right back and he wins his next 2 races for fun with improved figures. So, his recent form is good. He's going to be forward in this race. I thought he ran fine last time. I am worried about the step up in class, though.
You never want to sleep on a classy horse such as the number 3 Fat Man, who's won 9 times and over $600,000 in earnings. His last race at Parks, though, on his preferred dirt surface was not very good, however, and it's interesting that they're moving him back to the turf for the first time since 2017. I just think he's more of a dirt horse. He has the class to compete with these horses.
He does. I feel like he's more of a dirt horse, too. I mean, he is stakes placed on the turf. If you want to hold out some hope that the switching surfaces here after such a long time since the last time he ran on the grass. If you want to feel like that's going to wake him up a little bit, I guess I would want way more than 5-1.
Value proposition is your morning line favorite at 8-5 for Chad Brown and Arad Ortiz, a multiple stakes winner on turf last year on the East Coast. Let's talk about his last race at Aqueduct. I just think that 3/4 of a mile was too sharp for him, especially in a race where Arrest Me Red controlled it from start to finish.
I agree. I'm not going to worry about the cut back to 6. I understand why they tried to cut him back down. It just didn't really work out. This is a horse who's probably at his absolute best over this distance right here, the flat mile. And he's just run several fast races. I think he's a really talented horse. He's also he can be a very difficult horse to ride. So we'll see if he gets the right trip in this race. If he gets the right kind of trip and he can work his way clear in the stretch, he's going to be tough to beat.
The third place finisher from his last race came back to win the Joe Hernandez, a grade 2 at Santa Anita with a 95 buyer. And as Mike mentioned, this horse has several fast races, 4 triple-digit buyers. On paper, he's the fastest horse in the field. He is a bit of an in and outer. Flying Scotsman is a horse that, if he gets loose on the lead, is capable of pulling off upsets. He did so at Gulfstream in early 2021, winning at 15-1. There are some class questions about Flying Scotsman and whether he'll have to go fast early. His last race is just an utter toss. His first race off a layoff on an alternative surface, a synthetic track.
Yeah, you don't care about that one. He's now second off the layoff, so you'll hope that he, takes a little bit of a step forward here. I mean, I thought he was pretty tough to make in here, Dan. He does have that one race, the race you were referencing down here over the mile last February, where he got loose and he ran a 99 buyer. That's the kind of race that makes him look pretty dangerous in here. Overall, though, his other races just don't do a lot for me.
Nicole Kirk, the number 6, is the longest shot on the board. He's been consistent throughout his career. He's been on the board in 8 of 10 starts, including his most recent race, and now winners of one other than at Gulfstream on December the 12th. Let's watch that effort. Cole Kirk was hustled out of there from the inside post, and he dusts the pace setter, the other pace presser, the 8 Island Commish, who was a big price and just fell back to about 10th. Cole Kirk ran well in this race. He won the duel. He's going to eventually lose the war and run third. His buyers are light. He's taking a big step up in class, and that's really all it is here. Is he good enough to beat this kind of field?
Yeah, it's a big step up in class for this horse. We'll see if he can handle it. I wouldn't worry about his trip, Dan. I know he contested the pace last time. He's probably going to sit off of it a little bit this time and see if that trip works out for him. Did he run the best race last time and wind up having to settle for third? Yeah, he probably did. My problem with him, Dan, is I don't think I would bet him off of any of his other races.
Belgrano is a horse stretching out in distance like Value Proposition. And like Value Proposition, he has done just fine in middle distances in the past. I really like the way he won his race at Laurel 3 starts back, going 5.5. I know it was a short field, but he just prompted the pace and then dominated in the stretch. Maybe a little disappointing in his last 2. The last race, again, not too worried about it over a synthetic track. I think he's somewhat interesting at a price with the great veteran Edgar Prado aboard.
Yeah, I agree with you. We'll see what he does. Going to stretch him back out here, but he did post a pretty big win over the mile at Monmouth last summer. We'll see what he does. He's got races that give him a chance to at least get a piece of it here. I thought he was tough to make on top, but I could use him underneath.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the grade 3 tropical turf. Largent's coming off the long layoff. I know Pletcher's great off layoffs. Where's he been? You're not supposed to just sit a horse after missing by a neck in a grade 1. Something must have happened there. Value Proposition to me is just too much of an in and outer. Again, these horses are the most likely winners. I don't know. Cole Kirk to me is just an interesting horse. He's always been consistent. It's a big step up in class. I thought he ran the best race last time, and I thought he ran okay 3 back before he went on the layoff against a horse that had some back class, Pillar Mountain.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if he can work out a trip and take a step forward here, because it feels like he's going to have to. I sided with Largent over Value Proposition. It was a pretty tough call for me. I've never really trusted Value Proposition. Now, I like him as a horse. I do think he's talented. I've never really trusted him, and I thought he would be favored, so I put Largent on top.
And you never know, the winner of this race might wheel back in 3 weeks or so for the Pegasus World Cup Turf, where it looks like Colonel Liam will be waiting to defend his title. 14274 for Mike, 6127 for me. It's the grade 3 tropical turf, the featured Gulfstream on Saturday. Good luck.